Well, how's it going, Kingsman? Welcome back to another NTW3 battle. Of course, this is the Napoleonic Total War 3 mod for Napoleon Total War, and today, I've actually skipped all the way to the very front of the replays here. That's right, I jumped ahead. Honestly, as soon as I opened up the Discord, I saw an insanely good match between the Buck and Ball clan and the RC clan here. So today they are playing on the battle map Dresden. We have the RC playing as the Russians in the Patriotic War of 1812, and the Buck and Ball playing as the French. Now, both these are very, I'd say, pretty good players on both clans, which is going to make for the battle that we're going to get today, which I can promise you guys looks pretty good. Pretty good. Let's go over the cores before this battle starts. So for the Buck and Ball clan, the French, you have a 10-point Murat, a 9-point Poniatowski, a 10-point Eugen, and a 10-point Ney. And on the Russian side, 9-point Konstantin, 12-point Bagration, 8-point Tormasov, and 10-point Tuchuskov. Now, the French are on the defensive. Russia is attacking. As you can see, you have the 8-point Tormasov up here on this right flank here, kind of going back and forth with the French to start this battle off. Keep in mind also Murat, Cav Corps for the French on the field, and they're probably gonna really like this big open field here in front of Dresden. This is probably where they're gonna want to do a lot of fighting. Now, of course, there is a French corps that is garrisoned this left side here, the earthworks, making this a decent defensive line. LLC in the center. The French, let's see, who do we have here? We have a 10-pointer pushing up through the tree line, and then of course Bagration, and I know that's all, but wow, that is a massive army. In fact, what is it? Bagration, does he have 2,200 men? Yeah, he has 2,235, so he has a lot of troops on the field. However, I do believe the French outnumber. Is it close? That's 4, 5, 6,000. 6. And the French have a little bit more. The French actually outnumber the Russians by a tiny bit. It's not much. Still, I think that'll make it even more interesting here, as it looks like the French, or the Russians, sorry, are getting into position here. They're going to probably be sweeping directly, it looks like directly into the town. You have the Polish Poniatowski. He is going to be in the center. And of course, I'm assuming we have a Ney and Eugen on the two flanks, with maybe Murat scattered about, as the Cav Corps should be. We'll have some Dragoons, I'm assuming, from Murat. I'm curious if he brought a lot of Crossiers or if he mixed it up. Mixing and matching. We do have a French push here on the left side. Oh, wow. Yeah, a total French push here on the left side. Russia has not really advanced across this river yet, but over here, we have them going straight in. Look at this. Light infantry have pushed up in front. Well, they really haven't committed to any attack yet, but I'm sure this may be the first point of contact for the real fight. And although Russia and Poland getting very close to each other here, you can see some Polish cavalry and some French dragoons chasing off some of those Guisards. More dragoons across the river here. Looks like the French are getting hit by some artillery. Definitely seeing that. I think it's Russian artillery. Yep, from way over there. Trying to tear up some of the reserves the French have. Oh, is it howitzers? Yep, some howitzers. But here we go. I think France, I believe they have, yeah, they have a gun battery here, which is sweeping this open field here, protecting the left extreme flank of the French line. But Russia looks like they're, for the most part, pushing here. Obviously, you have two corps pushing from two different spots on this one French corps. And then, of course, Tormasov kind of biding his time for the moment. Maybe they're going to try to coordinate this attack all at once. So far, just a little bit of skirmishing. That's about all we've seen. It does look like Bagration is splitting his corps, though. You can see he has some line infantry, even some artillery, some cavalry as well, shifting over towards Tormasov's corps. The rest going to their right. Now we do have the Polish line pushing out. They probably are realizing this may be a bit more of a serious attack here on their left. But yeah, their Russians have not made a commitment yet. In fact, I see some lines pulling back. Maybe their artillery is not something they like too much. Or maybe they're going to try to pivot more around. Maybe they're going to try to take the Polish head on. Who knows? We do have Constantine. Of course, we cannot forget the Guard. And they are poised in at the perfect little angle. Look at these guys. One of them getting shot by something? He does have some cavalry guard as well. So yeah, I mean, Constantine's a smaller corps, definitely, but he does have a very strong corps. And I'm sure he's going to try to put that to good use at some point in this battle, of course. Just probably wants to wait for that right moment. Still no movement from Tormasov. Still just a skirmishing. I mean, France has the reserves. They put some grenadiers in the house. Lines kind of spanning along. And then, of course, the Polish protecting that right flank. They have artillery they've now pushed up. I mean, if Russia's trying to get the element of surprise, it's not exactly what's happening for them. But then again, I don't think they've decided where they're going to attack yet. And keep in mind, they are the attackers on this map. The LOCs are in favor of the defenders, as Dresden has 3 points. Then, of course, you have more points across the river. And then the one here, of course, the Russians have 1, 2, 3, 4... They have 4 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 to 7, obviously in favor of the French. It's going to force the Russians to make an attack somewhere, and which is probably why they're being cautious here. They have to make a good attack. They can't just throw in forces, you know, without having a decent benefit. And the French definitely seem to have the artillery positions locked down. Alright guys, sorry, we're back. I had to fix a couple things, but nothing's hopefully we're around the same spot as we were before. With the engagement with Bagration's light infantry with those Polish skirmishers, this battle's starting to heat up a little bit more. Oh man, you got the howitzers crashing in. Once this Polish artillery is set up, looks like a 6-pounder at least. It's gonna make it a little more of a living hell for the or a dying hell, you know, depending on how you see those rushes in a couple minutes. But it's gonna make it very difficult for them to make their assault. They had some very nice flanking fire by those skirmishers, and you can see the Russians are very hesitant to push through any of these choke points here. France has kind of got those defenses buckled down for the moment. I mean, it's not like Russia's taking heavy losses, but I think they're worried about taking heavy losses in an assault, especially considering, as we were looking earlier, they are outnumbered. Interestingly enough, we do have a huge shift in forces here towards the center. Look at all these line infantry lined up Nothing on the far left. I'm assuming France will probably have gathered. There's nothing here. I mean, there's some cavalry to stop any scouting parties from France from really making a push here. But at the same time, France is probably going to consolidate more center and probably have their own cavalry pushed out to try and, you know, see if the Russians are going to attack there. I'm sure as of right now, the French probably can figure out that there's no attack being made here yet, and that the attack probably is going to happen over here and potentially in the center. But the center is still a bit of a guess. We definitely have a concentration of French forces, but as Russia advances, they will get themselves closer to the French. Line of infantry who will then be able to push up. And keep in mind, this Polish artillery can easily pivot and start firing down range here on this open field. So this is definitely, guys, not the attack I would want. I would not want to be one of these poor soldiers that are staring down at least a mile. What is that? Probably at least a mile to the town. In an open field, I would be like, man, this sucks. Like, as soon as we start advancing, we're going to be under fire from everything. I mean, this would be a very long march. And you know that you wouldn't be making it. You'd be met halfway there by the French. And artillery be firing at you constantly. But you can see the Russians getting hammered by that artillery already. Still haven't done anything. Like I said, I think they're trying to find that edge, that one little chink in the armor to be able to push. And so far, I mean, the French have been meeting them everywhere. Pivoting around the right flank here. Their extreme right is pushing up to Chuchkov, pushing with some cavalry. France has a small force here on the flank, probably just more of a warning force than anything. They may have something here in these earthworks. It's a small little reabout. But it looks like we have some Kazakis. I'm not sure if they're going to go for skirmishers. This could be a very bad charge for them. We'll see if they catch anything. Square formed, and that is how it should be. Oh, at the same time, though, it doesn't matter. But now they know there's a square there, but you see more forces. Guarantee you each of these line of infantry can form square and will protect those skirmishers. Oh, is this like a light infantry unit? What is this? Some cool looking uniforms here. I don't think I've seen these uniforms before. That's nice. Has to be a light infantry unit. I like it. I dig it. Very nice. Here we go. The Russians are pushing up through the fog. Oh, it looks like fog. I know it's smoke, but still looks kind of cool. Foggy, hazy looking atmosphere here. And the artillery keeps thundering overhead. We have more cavalry pushing over. And I know that something happens at some point. I mean, there's too many kills and deaths on this end of replay results for there to be just a little spatting around. You know, they actually clash at some point. The real question is just where. And like I've probably said several times now, the Russians are going to have to be cautious. But once they commit, I'm sure they're going to have to 100% full send it. You know, they're not going to send a partial attack, and maybe they'll start an attack, see it's not working, and then pull back before they have heavy losses. But I'm sure they're going to commit once they do go in. It'll be a full commitment. That's my prediction. Now, maybe I'm totally wrong, and I guess we will see as time goes on. And while we're all sitting here relaxing, watching this beautiful battle unfold, if you would feel inclined to hit that subscribe button, and if you like to know when I post, because I don't post so very regularly with work and all, you hit that bell so that you get notified when I do post, which is a couple times a week. That way you don't miss out on the replays that I do post. But yeah, that always helps. Support always helps. But anyway, back to the battle. Ugh. So here we go. Still not a lot of French concentration here. I think they feel pretty confident in being able to use their infantry in skirmishers. Maybe some French cavalry. There it is. Some French cavalry as well. Now, keep in mind, though, they do not want to lose his cavalry to the howitzers, which will start seeking him out. So he is bringing cavalry forward only because he has to. And he will pull back, I'm sure, as soon as he sees there's no danger. Now, the Kazakis may actually try to take this fight. Plus, keep in mind, a lot of hidden cavalry here on the left. So France may get outplayed here. Skirmishers going in again. Now watch, if this cavalry charges in, I guarantee you he may issue out some cavalry, try to swing it around the flank, go for that skirmisher unit. Maybe. Potentially. Oh, Constantine shifting. He is entirely shifting over. They really want this skirmisher unit. Like, really badly want the skirmisher unit. It's hilarious. They're just like flirting with each other. Like, we're gonna fight. No, we're not. We're gonna fight. We're not. Alright, so I'm seeing some regular volleys now getting thrown down by the Russians. Seeing some cavalry also starting to scout ahead in the center.
The buildings up.
That does look sick. All right, let's see what the Russians scout. You know, what do they see? It looks like some cavalry got broken by artillery. Let's keep in mind, huge 4-gun artillery piece here with potentially, I believe there's another 3-gun artillery piece here. So Russia does have some guns of their own, and another one right here. Oh, they're gonna try to go for the artillery piece. They're hidden still. They are still hidden. How are they not hidden? I don't know how they're not hidden, but they are not hidden. I mean, what? There we go. Now they need a charge. They better charge. Oh my goodness, they're going to lose their artillery piece. Now skirmishers pouring in volley. Let's see if they can stop them. I don't think they're going to. These Casaris are going to get this artillery piece. Now maybe they will die as well. They're going to die as well. But the artillery piece is now gone in that center line. And they got a glimpse behind the curtain. They saw a lot more of the French line here. You see more artillery set up here. Murat just waiting here. Looks like a lot of dragoons. Maybe he just brought straight up all dragoons. It was a nice snipe. I will applaud that. Oh, they came back to adding insult to injury for the French. I mean, they're pretty depleted. It's only 27 men left, but this artillery piece probably won't come back. Maybe. And now the artillery knows where that cavalry is, and they're going to start shooting at it. Pretty easy to fix, though. Oh, these poor houses. This cavalry can shift to different locations, but still. So what... Trying to figure out what the Russians are playing at. You know, what's their plan here? They have Constantine here now. Petrushkov is totally shifting away from this LOC to the left side. We have cavalry. Yeah, so we may have the Russians trying to go for an attack here. They're attacking right next to an LOC. This may not be the greatest. I don't know. This I would not like this fight. There's gonna be a shot. They're sitting right next to windows. And there we go. They do break. The Kazakis break, and then a flanking charge by some Ulani, getting that charge bonus, and they break these Chevaliers. And we actually have some skirmishers who may actually get caught. Now, they're going to form a square and run their skirmishers through. They should get away, actually. Oh my gosh, here comes Murat. Alright, so there's the heavy cavalry. Maybe the French think that this is where the Russians are going to attack now. This is actually pulling a lot of attention away from this huge mass of Russians. And I don't know, these guys are all hidden still. This is a patience game, I think, for Russia. And they may actually make this attack. Potentially. They may actually make this advance now that a lot of France's attention is drawn to this left side. Yep, more and more French are shifting over here. We'll see if this works out in the Russians' favor. On this rainy day in Dresden. I feel like that would not be a fun day to be fighting, you know? Just a suspicion here. Man, this battle. Oh. I think we're getting it, guys. I think we have the advance being made. The Russians are going to make a commitment here into the center and on the right flank. And Konstantin is shifting over to help out with Chuskov's flank. But here we go. So we have Tormasov, the 8-pointer. He has a corps of almost 1,900 men. And of course, Bagration with 2,200 men. So a total of almost 4,000 men making over 4,000 men making an assault here. Oh, this is it. This is what I was waiting for. I knew it was coming. Usually I would be a little disgusted and be like, oh, come on, let's fast forward. But I don't want to miss it. Look at this glorious line of Russians just advancing. The cinematic view. Imagine being this poor skirmisher unit here. And this is what you see. You just see a mass here. Another mass of infantry here. Cavalry running behind. I mean, technically they're still hidden. But, you know. Still, I'm sure there is at least a Ney or Yuzhin and some Murat hanging out here. But still, there's a lot more Russians here than there are French, guaranteed, as the rest of the French are distracted on the left. But here we go. I'm assuming this is Murat. Ooh, we have a cavalry charge from Tormasov, breaking one and then potentially two French units. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's not a huge break, not a huge loss for the French, but still, their forward picket lines, if you want to call it that, are starting to break here, and Russia is committing here, going in with a bayonet. This house, of course, will be a costly attack, as there's some grenadiers defending it. I can see some Russian wavering already, or at least they have been shaken. But some grenadiers gonna go for the house. I'm pretty sure that LSC breaking actually did that to those light infantry units. Alright, I'm curious how this Buck and Ball clan is going to handle this full-on assault. And if you see over here, guys, nothing. Like, actually, the Russians just demonstrated, basically, then pulled back. Now, we have Konstantin. Maybe he's going to swing in for the LOC, but here we go, Russia. Ooh, okay, this is Yuzhin. This is Yuzhin, definitely. I recognize those grenadiers anywhere. I'm fairly stupid if it's actually not Yuzhin somehow. But here we go. So the French, alleged Yuzhin, or Kingston, no. Making their defensive line here. That's a beautiful shot. Like, look at this. You have the burning build. Oh man. The burning building, and then you have the lines of infantry. Now, if this is Yuzhin, which I do believe it is, He has 2,400 men under his command. So he does have a large force, plus Poniatowski pushing up here now. You have, it looks like, Bagration going in for the line infantry. France throwing in some of their cavalry. I'm assuming that's Murat to counter their dragoons. Still nothing over here, although Constant may try to swing it in. Russia actually pushing now. They've taken this LOC. They are pushing out, going for the bayonet here. And then he's going to pull back. He doesn't want to waste those grenadiers. Alright guys, so it crashed. It must have been too epic of a battle to, you know, to have on display, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, we are back, slightly behind where we were right before. Right as the Russians are making that push, having taken the house, trying to use that forward momentum. Get some nice volleys. Ooh, these grenadiers are getting chewed up. These poor guys being given the order to stand firm as the flanks looking a little grim around them. And you can see they're getting shot to pieces here, making that brave stand here. And actually gives us a chance to see this cav charge against Eugene's left flank. Hopefully it's not too loud. My goodness, it's getting loud. As Poniatowski pushes his infantry forward as well. Murat coming in to save the day. You have more of Bagration's corps swinging in, trying to go for the flank here. This is going to put the French in a predicament here. They have a very large Russian force here right in the center. And then some French trying to, or not French, Russians trying to swing around. However, I do like the French reserve lines they have there. They are not caving yet. Of course, this little fight, it's probably going to be a decent engagement here, is starting to kick off here, so we're going to have to keep pivoting back and forth. Constantin trying to go in straight. They're ignoring this LOC. They're going to go and try to swing around the flank, maybe. Bagration's light infantry are going to, looks like, maybe getting engaged as French are pushing out of this LOC to swing around and help out with this fight here. I do see the French line not struggling necessarily, but I don't know how well matched they are. I don't know this corps very well. But the Russians are just dishing out some damage right now. But like I said, they have a, like, this corps, Eugene's corps, which, again, apologize if I'm not saying it in its nays, but I'm pretty sure it's Eugen, is a very strong numerical advantage, especially with that Murat and Poniatowski helping them out here. Now, we may see these guys cannot form square. This could be a disastrous charge here. That Murat is going to get off on this light infantry. And he's going to break at least two of them. Now they're pouring a deadly volley here. Let's see if France can get out in time. Oh my. Okay, well, the friendly fire. And they may break. Oh wow, they break the dragoons. But here we go. See, so the French are going for the flank here. The Russian flank, there is a bit of a gap here missing. Ooh, actually, we have a bit of an engagement here as well. Constantin's pushing in. Maybe they're trying to cut off this force here on the left side. Maybe try to go for this bridge. Try to surround and defeat them here. That would be a huge defeat for the Russians. Or for the French. Oh, a cavalry charge going in. Heavy cav. Cuirassiers getting that first line infantry. He's going to have to look out because there are going to be counter volleys here by the Russians, but you can see Poniatowski is actually pushing up infantry to go in coordination with that heavy cavalry, and here goes the French counterattack. And Russia's actually disengaging as best they can from this fight. Counter-charging a little bit, or counter volleys. against that square that's formed for Russia. More and more Polish pushing forward. The Polish line, force of 2,000 men. Oh my gosh, they just crumbled this building. And the heavy cav continues to pursue. Oh, that caused some breakage from the Russians. This is going against them very quickly with that Murat being unleashed. And quite honestly, I think this Russian army is about to just start crumbling with Murat being deployed.
Our men are running
as well. This is quickly turning disastrous for the Russians. The cavalry is not here to stop Murat. Oh no, it is. There's some cavalry here, but it's probably not enough. Russia's trying to disengage here, get across the river. I promise I'll check on this fight, which actually, I'll just check on it real fast because we know how the one's going. Murat's is having a field day here. Yeah. France is getting a little bit surrounded here. Let's see over here. Looks like Murat trying to run down some of this infantry that's going across the river. Ooh, some friendly fire with their artillery piece. Do you believe there's some dragoons that are trying to save some of this core? Poland now fighting with Bagration's reserves. But artillery can hopefully try to save some of this Russian line. But it's just Russia doesn't have the squares to defend. Over here, Constantine is committing cavalry and infantry into this fight. France has managed to, for the most part, get across this river, pulling back towards Dresden itself. It is crucial that the French defeat this Russian army entirely. And oh, that's a huge, oh my gosh. Yeah, the Murat just shattered this entire flank with some heavy cav. It looks like he's actually committing here in the front as well.
Our men are running.
Murat's a pretty tough corps to fight. I mean, they're just absolute disaster. But, you know, Russia is winning over here. Yeah, Russia's definitely winning here. They are breaking up this French army quite easily. You do have, I believe, this is Murat trying to help out here. But the thing is, guys, if the Russians can get into Dresden and barricade these entrances, Murat's going to be in a pickle. He can't fight in this. He has to fight out here.
Our men are running, sir.
Now, Russia is not entirely dead yet, but they have lost a large chunk of their men. If I can do some canister here. I'm assuming the French are going to start shifting reinforcements over in this direction where they have their flank has pretty much folded. Ulani, oh, they're going to get a volley off, aren't they? Are they? No, they're not. France is getting stopped here, but they're going to continue to run towards their allies who are victorious on their flank, as Russia has managed to collapse in on this flank. with minimal losses, I believe.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
Very minimal losses. We'll see if Murat has to get himself in gear here to help out with this fight, as the Russians are making one last desperate stand, and they have stopped, well, not stopped the, ooh. Oh man, are they gonna get another canister off? I think that's it. Here we go, there's a dragoon over here. Let's see if they charge in the flank here against this line infantry. Yeah, they do, but Poland is utilizing that to then push up their lines.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Now, Poland has had minimal losses here, guys, so they will be the main force potentially. I mean, there's still a Eugen, I think, who has not done too terrible. The remainder of Ney, you have Eugen, you'll have Poniatowski and Murat still, for the most part, intact. You have France still controlling a portion of the town. And there's still a French force in this LOC that will probably try to hold it to their death. And they definitely can put up quite a stalwart defense. So the Russians cannot exactly ignore this for the rest of the battle. But for now, I do believe the Russians are outnumbered in this fight. But the French are a little spread out, so if Russia tries to strike while the Polish are engaged and Murat's engaged, and maybe they can make a dent. We will have to keep an eye on that. I'm sure Murat's peeling forces over to try to assist this defense, but his cavalry's going to be tired. That was a good charge. We'll see Constantine here. You have Cavalry going in for another charge. Oh, a square. And then the flank may actually break this Cavalry once and for all. Sped through a square, being so close to that Cav engagement.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Here we go. Murat definitely has some troops close to this engagement. You have some Kazakis face off against the Polish cavalry. They should win this engagement. I'm not really following this. I mean, it's a total loss here. This frontal assault unfortunately turned into a huge disaster. Now, Tormasov does have a lot of very tired units left, but he does have a core left, and he's probably going to push up, but he will not be able to take part in this engagement. Another heavy cav charge. Or not heavy cav, dragoons. A square from Russia, though, getting formed. And with Konstantin's line, some guard units, general nearby, the Russians actually stand fast. We may have some cuirassiers going to cycle in and try to take another go at this French or this Russian line. This is probably going to be the hardest fought portion of this battle. Until Konstantin gets worn down and his cavalry's gone, it's going to be not a very easy roll of this Russia. And I'm here for it. I'm here for this final fight. Now, I mean, The French are doing what they can. They're just trying to whittle down this Russian force with some nice volleys. They have the numerical advantage that they can stand in lines and shoot. Really inflict some losses on this Russia. But Russia is starting to pull back a little bit. Like I said, we have Tormasov exhausted, but still present. I do believe they kept this LOC, so they have another one-pointer. But Poniatowski's gonna take care of it. I think Poniatowski should be able to deal with. These guys are exhausted. We'll see, but I'm pretty sure they'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. That was a fight, that's for sure. Actually, some pretty minimal losses here in this field. Now, there was a slaughter over here where the Russians got caught. They got caught in the river, and they got run down by Murat. Oh, these poor Russians. Now, a nice counter volley to defend. Ooh. That looks a little... That's definitely, hopefully not intentional, Fim, but... Alright, so France is trying to race Russia for Dresden itself. Keep in mind that two-pointer is still in French control. Oops. Ooh, what did I do? I teleported myself to an insane part of the map. We'll see how this develops. It's still up in the air. Russia has a good sized force here. And these guys are still exhausted, so their fighting performance is gonna be off. They need to be resting as best they can. I mean, they need to be hiding, delaying this fight as long as possible. You know, of course, a grenadier in the house. I mean, keep your infantry back and let them assault the house, I guess. I mean, you have cavalry to stop this Polish line on the right. And it looks like France is committing to this LOC with some sappers. More infantry shuffling around to maybe try to, you know, support this defense. We have Constantin. He's going to go for this LOC here. This is why the French are moving to support as best they can. Stop Constantin from getting this LOC, as that will start evening out the LOCs in favor of this Russian force. Oh, and a flanking charge. This is where Russia needs some cavalry. Just swing in and hit that flank. These guys are not going to win. They're wavering already. We'll see how this assault goes. Here we got a countercharge, though. I believe they take that LOC. Man, yeah, Russia's taken several LOCs here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. If they take that one, that's 5, 6 versus 2, 3, 4. Oh no, they have this one because they blew up when there was troops in it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so basically the Buck and Ball clan have to take a lot of LOCs, which they can definitely still do. There's tons of time left. Or they need to go for a deathmatch victory where they just wipe out the Russians entirely, which means they have to attack all the LOCs. If they win the major engagement, though, then it'll be easy to take out LOCs. And knowing the Buck and Balls play style, they probably are going to try to go for a deathmatch victory, not an LOC victory, considering they have the field advantage, they have the numerical advantage. And honestly, a lot of the Buck and Ball clan's victories are deathmatch victories. So, you know, take that with what you will, but I'm going to be looking for a deathmatch victory with this much time left in the clock, with this many troops left for the French. Time will tell, though. And this looks like a nice counterattack the French have going. Gonna break another one of Constantine's guard. Ooh, the artillery, though. Some nice counter battering. Ooh, but does not help enough. But they retake this LOC location. Poniatowski waiting. I'm not sure. I mean, these Russians have rested up. You can see now they're fresh. Their job, one job now to be to hold. And of course, they're sending more troops over to the left side here towards this LOC as well. And there, of course, there's some French troops here as well. Now, of course, ooh, hold that thought. We have artillery getting charged. They may just, they'll probably break, but they'll get those guns. What I was saying, ooh, uh-oh. No squares in sight. But they are getting some volleys off on this Cuirassier unit, but it will not be enough. But the countercharge from the Dragoons may help. I suspect this Cuirassier is fresh, if not just tired. So they'll perform very well, and the debuff from Friends routing is going to start carrying on down this Russian line. And now with France rushing out of this LOC, there's nothing to stop them, nothing in their way, and Russia's going to have to start pulling back, but they're probably going to get caught. But what I was saying before is a lot of LOCs need to be taken by the Buck and Ball clan to win this. Alright, they get their volley off. Will it be enough? I do not think so. Ooh, a countercharge. You have Dragoons charging in against the Cuirassiers. But there's a lot of Russians routing nearby. Yeah, I didn't think so. That's a tough one. And there is almost nothing standing in France's way now. A small contingent from Kutushkov's corps They may break this cross. Yeah, they do, but a fresh one rushes up, takes place. Nice counter volleys here on the flank. We have the Cavalry getting ready for another engagement here. They're active. Brave Constantine's Corps standing their ground as best they can, but it's turning into a losing battle very quickly. But like I said, guys, we still got to look at LOCs. We still have to look at them. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I said, that one's 6. Potentially 7 versus 2, 3. But there's still time for the French to take some LOCs. You see some Polish moving towards Bagration's LOC. They are poised maybe to take this one. I think they outnumber the Russians, but over here they have troops ready to move towards LOC. I don't know, guys. Wait, I wasn't counting this one. Sorry, I was counting the other one. So the French have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's very close right now. However, if the Russians take this one, then it's going to change, but I don't think they will. So technically, the French just have to take 1 or 2 more, and they're poised to take this one at least. And maybe this one over here. We'll see if they can take it. And honestly, the French may actually be able to take this other one. There's only 1 line infantry plus a general over here, so I think this is gonna be a deathmatch victory. That's just my suspicion here. It could come down to LOC, I guess, if the Russians pull back, but I don't think the Russians will. If they see they've lost LOC, they'll probably just commit to a line fight. Same over here, but we'll see. Looks like the French or the Polish did not take that LOC. Still, though, you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we'll see. There's still 17 minutes remaining. There's plenty of time. Oh, you have some cavalry guard going in. They're going to try to break some of this cavalry, maybe start a triggered route if they can get to him in time. Dead even? Nope. Cavalry guard starting to waver. Yeah. We hit the fast forward button, guys. I think this was the last of the Russian real resistance. Like I said, minus the 1 or 2 units here, which they're not going to stop this. This is 3 large Russian or French units here. There's no way. And a general is killed. But that was an amazing fight. Unfortunately, the Russians were not ready for the counterattack with Murat. Murat really wrecked their lines.
This building has fallen to
like
the
I said,
enemy.
the Polish pushing in here. I mean, the Polish pushing in and just if Poniatowski hadn't been there to help Murat with that counterattack, I don't know how well it would have gone. It probably would have still been decently successful. The Russians don't have a lot of squarables. However, maybe if the Russians had some of their cavalry over here from Constantine, some dragoons to counter, maybe it would have changed things. I don't know if it would have necessarily. Murat's an entire cav corps, and the Russians just brought a couple cav units each. I don't know if that would have actually done anything. But I am starting to see LOCs shifting back in favor of the French. They've taken this one. They're about to take this one. If I were to guess, they've taken that one. That's 4 right there. 5, 6. I think they're dead even right now. But like I said, they're probably going to lose another LOC. I don't know where, but they probably will. Yeah, they're going to take this one. If they do that, then it's over. I don't think anyone's going to really be fighting anymore after that. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it for a second. But still a beautiful battle, if I were to say. Just absolutely amazing. I love seeing heavy cav and infantry go into coordination and just, pummel enemy lines. It's the most cinematic looking thing ever. Looks like France is wavering here. Oh,
this building has
they took
fallen
it.
to the
They took it. All right, so that seals their fate. Whether or not France manages to not take any more LOCs, it's not going to matter. And now France loses LOCs.
We have taken a building, sir.
They've taken that one. But man, I gotta recount again. Okay, they took this one. So now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Oh man, they took it back. Oh yeah, no, they took it. So 7, 8. All right, that's it. 8. With no time left. Yeah. Plus they're gonna countercharge here. Murat's getting it. Unless something changes, guys, I'm gonna skip to the end. I think it's a victory for the Buckball clan, for the French. And yeah, we'll check out the results here in a second. All right, guys, so a victory for the Buck and Ball clan. Hard fought, but still a victory nonetheless. Well played on both sides. Let's check out the results here. So you have on the Buck and Ball side, the French, you have Matt Bob playing as a 10-point Murat, got 1552 for the kills. You have Sharpie playing as Poniatowski with 993. You have Thomas. He was playing the Eugen 10-pointer with 1137. You have Heinze playing 10-point Nay with 1198. On the other side, you have TT Ross as Constantine. He got 702 for the kills. Al playing as Bagration with 1172. Bring back Militia with Tormasov. He got 931. I mean, considering that, his corps got shattered by Murat, he did pretty good for the kills. And then you have Bagration playing as Tutuchkov. And he had 1210 for the kills. So yeah, the Russians had definitely less kills, but it was pretty comparable and still, showcases a very fierce fight. which I enjoyed. That was beautiful. It was a beautiful fight, well coordinated on all parts, and a good game. So, but a victory for the Buckaball clan. Anyway, guys, that'll be it for me today. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, appreciate the support on the channel. And until next time, you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all in another video.